Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Yggdrasil Roadshow. I'm your host, as always, Alexander Lapiniemi, here to serve you the latest from Yggdrasil. Today, we're going to focus on the games of October, the network campaigns we have, and we're also going to look a little bit ahead to see how we're going to close the quarter, what we have coming up towards the end of the year. There's plenty of seasonalities, plenty of really cool themes that we are going to tap into. In October, we have Halloween, of course, spooky stuff. You can see that definitely in some of the game titles there. We're going to look into them a little bit later when I'm dialing up the studios to check the games out. Now, also in November, as most of you probably know, there's the World Cup in football. So we do have a network promo coming up for that as well. It's the Football Fever. So that is very, very interesting stuff. I'm looking forward to that. And in December, of course, we have the Christmas. It comes every year. Surprise, surprise. So there will be an Yggdrasil 3 promotion, network promo, pretty much for all of December. So there's something there for all our dear clients to give to your players. But I'll get into that later. Let's have a look at the Fortune Quest. This is our ongoing network campaign that started in September and will keep on going November. Now in October, we will see in the middle of October, we have the Colossal Edition, 40k prize pool with prize drop double chance. Super, super good. Instant prizes for the players. Again, a free promo, super nice to opt into and to, give some position and give some love. It's a great added value, sure. Also, actually, in October, we start the spooky edition of the Fortune Quest. It's a little bit larger prize pool and it's prize drop double chance as well. Of course, the Halloween themed games are there, so do look out for that one. It's going to be super, super huge. And as mentioned there in November, we have Football Fever. It's a 50k tournament. It's going to be super duper nice. And it's also featuring a football themed game, the Fire Kick from the Yggdrasil studio. So that's another thing to tap into the seasonality and the football fever surrounding the World Cup celebrations and competitions. So that's going to be super, super cool. I am looking out for it. Who do you think will win? I got my bets on a team. I'm not going to say which though, but I think you all got an idea. Moving on to the next seasonality, we have the Yggdrasil 3 as mentioned. And here, guys, we have a whopping 200,000 euros for the players. It's going to be super duper amazing. Now, note the date. This is almost a month-long network promo in 3 sections. So pretty much all of December is booked with the Yggdrasil games. A note here, since it's for all of December, if you're also planning Christmas promotions, make sure that you're not planning it on the same games as the network promo, as there will be a clash and that simply won't work. So check the games and make sure that they're not clashing with the network promo. And if you have any questions at all, just reach out to your account manager and they will be able to sort you out without any problems. Let's get into the juicy stuff. So the panel of the day, we got a couple of Roadshow alumni here, some familiar faces. Now we're going to start out with our very own Sebastian Belton with 2 Yggdrasil titles. We're going to look at Champions of the Underworld and Florageddon. Now these are 2 really cool games. Now Florageddon is a horror themed game, so this is very good for the Halloween season. Champions of the Underworld is a bit of an interesting one because it's featuring 2 gem features. It's the first time we're doing that. So we're combining the heavy hitter Gigablocks with the newcomer Wild Fight. Now Wild Fight is a new gem, but it's been in the Viking games for a while. Viking Go Berserk, so you really look out for that. It's one of my favorite features. Gives me a good thrill when the land on the reels and you've got is he going to win the fight? Is she going to win the fight? What's going to happen? I really like that. And in combination with Gigablocks, following that, we have Frank McPolin with another banging release from Bang Bang. And this is a really, really cool game. Also very well suited with the season of Halloween, the horror themed Jekyll and Hyde, Jekylls and Wild. I do love a good play on words here. and they have really managed to suit together the whole theme quite well, with the duality of Jekyll and Hyde, with the gaming words of Jekyll and Wild, and also having that symbol turning into the Hyde version from the kind of the Jekyll version. It's a nice duality, a nice play on words. I really do appreciate that. And then last but definitely not least, we have Chris Ash from For the Player, and he's going to show us 7 gold Giga Blocks. Now this game really pops out. When you see it, you really want to get in there. You want to start spinning to feel the thrill. It's a Giga Blocks game as well, which works beautifully well with the theme. It's a very sparkly, shiny game that I think is going to do really well in almost most markets. I would say it has a very wide player demographic. Yeah, do stay tuned for Chris' presentation. I think it's going to be a really good one. In fact, all the games we have today is going to be super cool to look at, and a lot of things to say about that. But as far as the introduction goes, I think we're all set, and I think we are ready to get into the panel of the day. So without further ado, let's take it away. And first out here in this edition of the Roadshow, our very own Sebastian Belton. Welcome back, man. How's it going?
Hey, Alex. Great to be back again. Here we are, another Roadshow, another day. So yeah, looking forward to jump straight into it.
Let's give it a spin, man.
So Champions of the Underworld, here we are. One of our pioneering slots. As you can see, the benchmark level for visual acuity and quality is the highest level I think we've ever done here at Yggdrasil. We've spared no expense here. Just looking at it from a visual perspective, it's a real piece of art. As a slot enthusiast, I put this right at the top echelon of slots presentation. Let's jump into the actual slot itself though. So as I mentioned, it's a pioneering slot. It's the first game of its kind to include 2 gems. It's a Giga Blocks game and our new, more recent Wild Fight mechanic. As you can see here, the animations, it is actually a follow-up to the game Hades, our original Hades game. It's basically Hades 2, been nicknamed Champion of the Underworld. The idea here is the Wild Fight feature is in the base game a random potential, which will mean that there's a chance that they may fight. The fight is an outcome of either nothing happens or they get a world. When I hit the free spins bonus, we need 5 of these to hit free spins. You get 1 free spin for every free spin icon. You can just see that we're going to hit the gamble. So we're going to gamble feature here. This is a really cool feature. We have these Spartan looking swords. You can gamble different amounts. You can see there at the top there's a 2 and a 9. Obviously the higher feature will be less of these the unbroken Spartan swords. And then to pick the sword, it comes out. If it's a golden one that's not been broken, you will be given the free spins you gambled. You can then either choose to continue gambling, which we're not going to do. We're going to go straight into the slot. So this is, you can see here, amazing artist work there. And we jump into the free spins round, which is filled with a lot of different opportunity. The Wild Fight feature is now active all the time. All of the high-paying symbols will fight. Any free spin icons are generated and given back to you in free spin value. What we really want to do though is collect the wilds. So we get the wilds either by natural or we get them from the Wild Fights. You see that's our first wild active. We now get on the left-hand side, you'll see that it's now 1 of 9. We need to get that to 9 to activate the first multiplier, which is on the right-hand side. So we get the Wild Fight active again. You'll see this quite often in the free spins structure, more often than not, because we're going to always have the high-paying symbols. But we really want to get those wilds up and running to get the option to get our multipliers activated. So hopefully there we go, there's a good run there. We got a good, what's that, 6 wilds activated. That puts us up to 8 of 9 on the feature on the left-hand side. So we need one final wild here to push this. So we get a Wild Fight. We get a wild out of it? Yes, we can. There's the 9th one. So we now get 2 extra free spins, which were given for completing the wild collections, and we now have a 2x multiplier now on all wins moving forward. You can see we're keeping the free spin values up in the bottom right there. We're keeping them up by activating them in the slot, and this keeps the game rotating and keeps the customer engaged in it, keeps the engagement going whilst trying to reach for those multiplier values. So we really want to just collect as many of these as possible and get those multiplier values pushed up higher. And the wildfire activation. You can see the simplicity of the slot as well. Obviously, there's not really a lot more to elaborate on top of this, which is a good thing. The customers playing it will really be able to just get straight into the action without having to, read through a large amount of the tool notes, and really just enjoy the experience of the multiplier values, the wins that they can get off the back of this. So we're heading here we need to get 15 of these wilds to trigger the next feature multiplier. So obviously the win here values are already pretty big at this point. We're getting quite a few wins off the back of this due to the big multipliers that we've already managed to collect. And we're still generating those wild values as well, as you can see. But Champion of the World, as you can see, a masterclass in slot visuals, and also we believe a pioneer in the industry in terms of the quality of mechanics. That we've got two major blockbuster mechanics that we are proud to have built. And thank you for watching.
Thank you for that amazing presentation, Seb. Super good as always. This game looks really, really good. I mean, the detail, like in the animations and in the graphics, in the assets, I think everything comes out really, really beautifully. And with this Greek, well, the Hades kind of theme, with the Greek gods and the things, kind of, it really comes well together. I think with a rock and roll kind of music as well, heavier guitar riffs kind of in the background gets me going for sure. I think like doing a kind of a sequel, the Hades 2, with a different title, I think that is very, very interesting, because the games, they really do resemble each other, so you can really feel that you're playing a sequel. But like, what's your opinion on this take, on this way of doing it when you're doing a sequel, but you're not really keeping the name and the brand, so to say? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Alex, that's a good point. I think there's a lot of reasons around it. That as I mentioned, they've stepped this one up so much that it really deserves its own name. I believe whilst it is, as I said, a follow-up to Hades, it is in its own right a very original slot outside of. I don't think we really want to make it Hades 2 or anything like that. Simply mainly because it stands on its own 2 feet as a.
It is just that good.
It's that good, yeah. Like, I think anyone watching this would just get the idea that it's definitely in the very highest level of slot quality. When I watched it the first time, I was literally blown away just about how amazing the slot looks. It's just perfection in terms of, visual decadence, if you want to use that word, because it's like, video game high quality mobile video game quality, or even console quality for some games. So it's something, a visual masterpiece for people to enjoy. But not only that, I'm not even saying that's the main part of the game. It's just the mechanics as well are top notch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just seeing 2 gems together, like two really good features. And I mean, Wildfire is kind of my favorite. Like, I really, really like it. And I mean, Gigablocks as well, that's working really well for us. I think the combination of the 2 really adds a lot of excitement. And I'm really even more so excited to see, how we can work with this concept moving forward in combining features like this in games, in future releases. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see where it takes us. But to land a little bit in volatility and kind of how the game plays out, like how would you like, if you're playing in the base game, You can still get some really good wins, of course, but you know, you want to get into the bonus round. That's where the magic happens. But could you walk us through a little bit about, you know, how the RTPs, but the game and the volatility in general?
Well, I mean, that's a very interesting question, which has a very interesting answer. You know, the game is, as you would imagine, you know, a lot of RTP's been put into the feature round because there is a lot of potential for some very big wins there. But that's not to say that the base game hasn't got its own, you know, quality and win potential in itself. You know, you have the random wild fights to occur there. Let's not forget that wild fight, obviously, it is a recently trademarked gem for us, but it is also from one of our most popular titles, the Viking series, which is also, you know, massively beloved by the gaming community. So we've taken that aspect, that, you know, we've taken the best part of Vikings and put that in Champion of the Underworld, along with Gigablocks, which is also a huge blockbuster like mechanic that we use on, and again, some of our most popular slots. So the culmination of both of these being drafted into this slot provides, you know, a spectacular experience for the customer. You know, and it's been a tireless effort from our development team, making sure the math model works perfectly and integrating both of these excellent mechanics into one superb slot.
Yeah, super nice. Good stuff all around. Really looking forward to seeing what this game can do. Looking forward to playing it, to see how it spins, and I hope you guys are also excited. So look out for this one. It's going to be a good one. And thank you for the presentation, Seb. And let's move on to the next.
As always,
speaker.
a pleasure, Alex. See you on the next one.
Have a good one. And we're back here with Seb for the second game of the day. Really looking forward to getting in there and seeing what this one is about. The theme is really cool, a little bit scary, but super exciting. Let's take it away.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to jump straight into Florageddon. I'm just going to shoot up the video now, and let's begin. So let's jump straight into it. As you can see, it's a 5x3 reeler, cascading reels. The first thing you'll notice is the theme. It's a very unique one. We'll get into that later on the after talk, but right now we're going to look at the multiplier values on each side. You can see we've got a both-way multiplier, left to right and right to left. If you connect on all 5, you get bonus on both sides of the reel. You can see we're driving up the side on the left there. It's not like it's like double max, but as you can see, the multipliers do not always double. This is to the RTP on this is obviously needs to be balanced, so we've got two-way multipliers that has to be taken into account. In the top there as well, you'll see the little 3 red boxes followed by a green box. This is the bonus feature. When you manage to get 4 wins in a row, you will trigger a bonus. This bonus is random. There's a couple of them. We'll just shoot through quickly. One is an extra life, which you see there's the boost. Then we're going to talk about that one first. It gives you a boost of 10x addition to your boost on your multiplier. There is also some other options as well. One is an extra life where it will delete everything on the reel except for your bonus icons and your wilds. This gives you an increased chance to continue your feature roll. It will also give you an additional chance of hitting the bonus round, which you need 3 icons of the bonus icons for. Another one of the bonuses is a stacked wild, which we get here. Perfect timing. You see the stacked wild there. There's also another 3 stacked wilds above it as well, where you can just see there we drop down. So when you activate them, you get a further 3 that will drop down as well. So that's a really good one. There is also the final bonus, which is an additional wild, so double wild. Those are all the bonuses included in the that feature that's shown at the top. But the bonus round, which we will be getting to soon, will really showcase the potential and the differences for the opportunity of win. It is a high volatility game. You see there we triggered the extra life, which we have there permanently. When we don't get a win, boom, deletes them all, and then you have a further opportunity to keep those multipliers going. Obviously the potential here is massive. We expect this game to have very good penetration across most European markets for certain, particularly UK centric will do very well, but a lot of the major European markets will see good potential here. As you can probably imagine, due to how popular Raptor was, this game is due to do similarly or certainly beyond that, we would imagine. Soon we're going to hit the bonus round. Before we get to that though, it's important to note that the golden bet feature is there as usual, that we have in the base game, in all of our Yggdrasil games, or certainly a large portion of them, and that gives you obviously an increased chance of getting the features and increased free spins. So the free spins round, you require 3 icons to trigger, which will give you the base amount of 7 free spins. 4 will give you 9, and 5 will give you 11 free spins. So we've now hit the bonus feature. There is a gamble option which we're going to look at, and it's very simple. You get the green, you get the free spins, you get the red, you're out. So we got 2 additional free spins there. We will now go into the free spins round. What's different in the free spins round? Well, obviously the background you can see has changed. We've got this cool aura. We now reduce down to just 3 requirements. You can see at the top for the feature bonuses, you only need to get 3 wins to trigger that. Additionally, your multiplier is retained for the duration of the free spins round. So you can see here we've hit the 4, and that will not reset now back until the end of the free spins round. Additionally, you notice the actual feature bonus at the top does not reset either. So all you need to do is get 3 wins. They don't need to be consecutive. So the potential here is enormous, as you can probably imagine. You're able to connect those wins and get those multipliers to high values. You can expect huge wins. This is really going to be a very exciting aspect for the customer, and we envisage that the experience will be a very positive one in a similar vein as our double max slots. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for that presentation, Seb. Super cool game. Yeah, we touched on that a little bit earlier, but the theme obviously is a bit of a unique one. We're seeing some lamp posts, some the normal jacks, queens, kings, aces, some deadly flowers. There's tombstones. Like there's a bunch of different things here, and it's all coming together in a very interesting way. But could you tell us a bit about the theme here? Like what's the?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, Alex, it's a unique theme. The first thing I'd probably say is it's, for me, the first thing that I thought of, and certainly people in the same sort of age range as me. I grew up in the 80s. I remember a very popular movie called Little Shop of Horrors. I immediately thought it was similar to that. So that was the kind of vibe I get. I got these kind of like, as you look, you can see in my background, I got a very angry looking plant with teeth that, want to come across one of those in a dark alley. But it's a great theme for the Halloween period, which let's not forget that this is going to be available during. So, definitely something great for the customers to enjoy during the Halloween period. Also, it's got that kind of B movie vibe. The music's very sort of, B movie. I don't know. I like it. It's just great. Also, let's not diminish how amazing the logo is. The logo just screams 1950s, 1960s B movies to me. They've done a very good job creating that, and just the mechanics, the stylistic way that they've done it, and how they've made it very simple to follow. I think it's just, it's a really good collection of, ideas that have come together to make this amazing slot.
Yeah, definitely. It looks really cool. And I mean, on first glance, I mean, you recognize the multipliers from the side, and you might think that it's a double max game, but as you mentioned, it's actually not. It's a bit different. You tweak the RTP, and there's more features, other features. So it's like we're taking a bit of a winning concept, and we're adding some originality to it as well, which I think is super cool. But could you talk a little bit about how the RTP is spread in this game, maybe versus Raptor, and with the introduction of these new features, like what will the kind of feel be for the player?
Well, certainly, like obviously, it is similar to Double Max. So when you play Raptor, for instance, you'll notice that you have the recurring doubling up feature, which is obviously a big factor of what made the game so popular. So we've taken that aspect and we've injected it into Florageddon, but we've we've slightly adjusted it by adding some other features. Obviously, the feature at the top, which is the bonus feature to get all those different bonuses that I explained, it's really exciting for the customer because it's like an additional thing to aim for. But also the double multipliers on both sides. So left to right, you have the multiplier. Now, it's not a double every time, but it's still substantial multipliers you can get. And along with the opportunity to get up to a 10x multiplier additional from the bonus to really boost those numbers up. Also, if you get right to left, left to right, if you get 5 of a kind, you get to double up all of the numbers on both sides. So it really is like an opportunity to really sort of skyrocket your multiplier value by just hitting both sides of the reels, getting those values up high and getting exciting, adrenaline rush wins, which is what it's all about.
Adrenaline rush wins. That's the best kind of win. Really looking forward to some of those. To conclude, let's talk a bit about the buy bonus round, because like the buy bonus is a bit special in this one, isn't it?
Yeah, so the buy bonus, as some of our other Yggdrasil slots offers, we offer a 2-way buy bonus, which is really great for gives the customers some option. They can go for the simple 100x on their stake for the opening bonus, which is actually a randomizer, which will give either the 7, 9, or 11 free spins. It's random what you get, or you can pay the 400x on your stake buy bonus, which will guarantee you 16 free spins. So it's really up to the customer if he wants to kind of gamble for the higher look. They don't get the 16 free spins, but they can also gamble further with the gamble feature as well. Let's not forget that. So plenty of opportunity there for them to decide what they want to gamble for, how much they want to spend. It gives the customer the option.
Yeah, plenty of excitement in Flora getting for the adrenaline pumping wins. And I'll let those be the concluding words. Thank you so much for this presentation.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you next time.
See you in a bit.
And welcome back to the Roadshow. Frank McPolin with another banging release from Bang Bang Games. How are you doing, man?
I'm really good. Thanks for having me again. Delighted to be here. Very excited about this one.
Yes, for sure. Always a pleasure. And today we have a bit of a spooky game to look at. Really, really cool game, I must say. So I'm really looking forward to the presentation. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. Yes, thank you. Yeah, indeed, you're right. It's so yeah, here we have Jekyll's Wild Ultra Nudge, and as you rightly say, it's got a little bit of a spooky theme to it. Jekyll and Hyde. It's not it's not only for Halloween, but it's no surprise that we tried to tie this theme into a late October release. So we've got 3 main features here. The first one is our Ultra Nudge feature, which we're going to show first. And so Ultra Nudge, this is the second game with Ultra Nudge, the last one being Joker's Wild, which was hugely successful game for us, and it's still got really strong revenues and player engagement, even sort of 4 months after it's been out. So we're very excited about that. So here we can see it's the same character, which is deliberate. This guy is rolling across all of our Ultra Nudge games, and he's the Wild, and he's the guy that's going to be triggering the Ultra Nudge. So there we see every win that's incorporated him, that will start the Ultra Nudge. And so yeah, he's the guy that is triggering all these nudges. And once in the base game, you need him to start the Ultra Nudge, and then it will just continue. Every win you get, it bumps the reels down 1 and it pays again, and so on and so on. And in free spins, any win will start Ultra Nudge. So that's a nice little boost there. And yeah, the game's got great potential there, and it's really appealing to people who enjoy those games that have got long win streaks in them. And as I mentioned earlier, it's sort of proven very successful with the Joker's Wild game. So what we've done with this game as well is we have combined it with the cash on reels mechanic. So I'm just going to show you that now as well. And what this is in the game, the 5th high symbol is a potion symbol, and all of these potions can have a cash value on them between I think 0.2 and 50 times the player's bet. And what happens here is that as you can see here, on any given spin, the Dr. Jekyll character wild can transform into the Mr. Hyde alter ego, and when that happens, he will collect all of the potions on the screen. What we wanted to do with this cash on reels thing is really sort of figure out how we can work it with Ultra Nudge and make it as good as it possibly can be. So what happens here is that every time he collects it, you get an Ultra Nudge, the reels bump down one, and then he increases his multiplier, and at that point, all of those cash values get collected again at the new multiplier, and this just keeps going on. So, you know, you can collect these potions 4 or 5 times in a row, and each time that multiplier goes up. You can also collect them across multiple instances of the Hyde character. So that's really good as well. You're not just looking for one trigger character like you do in some of these cash on reel games. You'll see there earlier that the Dr. Jekyll character turned into numerous different Mr. Hyde characters, and each of those characters is collecting all of that potion cash. So, you know, there's really good potential there, and it kind of happens at random in the base game. So the other great thing about this game is that we have a free spins game, and that is triggered in the same way it was for Joker's Wild, which is by collecting 3 diamonds off the base game reels. So you'll see the spin now, and we've got 2 of them going there, and we've got the anticipation happening. These can be collected through regular landing like this, or the reason we collect them at the top here is because you can actually pick them up during Ultra Nudges, and you just need 3 across any of the 5 reels to be able to trigger the spins. So here we win 12 free spins, but the game has also got an entrance gamble. And what the benefit here to the player is you can gamble all of your free spins, and if you win, then your Mr. Hyde multiplier is going to start at 10x. So during free spins, Hyde does not reset his multiplier between spins, so this builds and builds in this sort of crescendo style free spin that we like at Bang Bang, where as we go on, you'll see every time he collects a potion, it bumps his multiplier as expected, but this just gives you that nice little boost to start on 10x. So here we go. So we're now into the 7th spin, and we saw that you know, what's great about this game as well with big Hyde multiplier is that he actually applies to line wins as well. So, you know, we're sitting there on a 10x for each Hyde, but, you know, that's not only just applied to potion collection. You can see there on the reels that every single Hyde will multiply those line wins as well. So that's cumulative. So we're up to 11x there now. Any wins that you can get 2 of those, and that line win will be at times 22. So, you know, there's a lot of value here in getting the big multiplier on that character, not just for the potion wins. So that really helps this free spins bonus deliver. So just a couple of spins left now. So we can see here, we're now on the final spin here, and you know, the Hyde is bumping in, and what's great here as well is that these potions, they're actually delivered in stacks. So if you're going to get one of these potions, you can see here we've now got 5 potions that we're collecting. This is great. Yeah, once a few come in, the way it works with the Ultra Nudge is that you're going to tend to get more and more of those come in, and it's going to really boost that collection. So that last one there, that puts our Hyde multiplier up to 17x. So it just goes to show that, you know, even if you didn't gamble here, you can still get the Hyde multiplier up to a good value. So there's good value in these free spins, whether you want to gamble or not gamble. And of course, from an operator's point of view, if you want to switch the feature gamble off, that's also supported here. So we can see there that we've won over 100x on that free spins round, and yeah, you know, that's pretty standard there. So that's the end of the video. That's pretty much the end of all of the features that we've got to show in the game. Just to summarize that, we've got the Ultra Nudge, we've got the cash on reels, we've got the free spins game, we've got the free spins entry gamble, And during free spins, we've really got that supercharged nature where the hide multiplier, that's what the game really is about, boosting up that hide multiplier, and he doesn't reset between spins.
Excellent stuff. Thank you for that amazing presentation. And I gotta say, there's a lot going on here, and in this game, like it's really, really cool. And I have to say, the music really gets me going, kind of a bit like mysterious, spooky, you know, like very, very well tied in with the features.
The music is great on this one. Yeah, do you know what? It's really inspired by, I don't know if you guys have seen the show, but there's a really cool BBC show called Sherlock Holmes with Cumberbatch in it, and we took a lot of inspiration from that. We wanted, because it's the right period, right? It's that late 18th century sort of harpsichord style sounds, and yeah, our sound guy had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that's a great show, and that's a great source of inspiration, I really gotta say. But you know, while we're at the topic of theme, could you talk a little about in general the theme as a whole, kind of the inspiration? You mentioned the year there, but if you could expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, we love the Jekyll and Hyde story, and you know, there are some other games out in the market with that theme, but I'm not necessarily sure that any of them have really done that sort of core idea of this character turning from Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde overly well. But with us, what we obviously start the creative process by really trying to think about, right, what can we do with Ultra Nudge, and you know, what can we do with Cash on Reels and Ultra Nudge to make this you know, to really ramp up what is a very, very popular mechanic in Casino World, right? So you know, we knew that this wild character is the core of the Ultra Nudge mechanic, but also if you look at those other Cash on Reel games, then of course, you know, you need a trigger in order to be able to collect that real cash, right? And we didn't want to have to inject another character or another symbol, because ultimately that then just ends up being blockers to wins and all the rest of it, which is not great in the first place, but is very bad news for an Ultra Nudge game where you need those wins to keep that nudge going. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to find a way to make the wild character both the trigger for the Ultra Nudge and the trigger for the Cash on Reels collect. And then once you're starting to play with that idea of this one symbol doing two things, plus obviously we knew that our release slot was going to be late October, and that Jekyll and Hyde just sort of really sprung to mind, and it all kind of tied in together quite naturally like that, really. Yeah,
like it's a very, very nice kind of play with the duality of the Jekylls and Hyde here, like the phenomenal.
Exactly, on that symbol, the duality of the symbol, it just sort of fell into place, really.
Yeah, I think it's really nice when you have like these kind of small details, like how you really connect, you know, the logic behind the feature to the theme, and also, you know, put on some really, really nice music with that. Like I think it just creates a really, really powerful experience. And I've said this many times, and I'll say this many times yet again. Play games without sound, shame on you. Like it's a big production value in the sound. Don't miss out on this, guys. But okay, so we have a lot of features in the game, but like what is the kind of the end goal of the game, and where do you get the max win? If you could expand a bit on
yeah, of course. So that is, you know, one of the key things that we always look at is, you know, is to try and make that what we call the chase as obvious as possible to the players as quickly as possible. And you know, when you come into this game for the first time, obviously our goal is for you to be able to understand it without needing to cross-reference the pay table and all that sort of thing. So I think once you've had a few spins and you get an Ultra Nudge going, then you know that's a really good draw. And Ultra Nudges happen quite frequently in the game, and that's enough to keep, I believe, players interested and to keep going with the game. And then eventually, when you start to see the Hyde turning, and then the multiplier increasing on the Hyde, that's where the chase is, right? So of course it has to be through free spins, because you know the real big wins are going to be when you get that big Hyde multiplier, and really, although it is possible to get up to sort of 6 or 7x in the base game, really the fact that he doesn't reset between spins in free spins, that's the goal. So to get good wins on this game, what you really need to do is you need to get a few potion collections early on in free spins, boost that guy up, and then yeah, once you get over ×10 on Hyde, that's when you, like, you know, it really starts to pay off. And And funny enough, I will say that, you know, when we had the initial vision for the game, we really wanted to make the game probably more about potion collection than it's actually turned out to be. And the reason I say that is because when you play the game, what you realize is there's so much value in those hide multipliers across normal win lines. I touched on it during the gameplay there, but you know, it's very, very difficult to get really huge potion values in this game due to the Ultra Nudge. But in order to keep that winning strong, when it's amazing, you get some absolutely massive wins if you get 2 or 3 Mr. Hyde characters with good multipliers on it across a line win with a character, or sorry, a high symbol. You know, you can get some really good wins there as well. So definitely the focus and the chase is on building up that multiplier and really plugging it into the last 3 or 4 free spins.
Yeah, but there's a lot of entertainment on the way. Like even in the base game, there are the potential to, you know, at least, you know, maintain your balance in a way, you know, to actually get to the end goal. But
exactly, and you know, you get that Ultra Nudge going, and it doesn't go quite as long as as wild as Joker's Wild did, and that's because of the other symbols that we've got in there, and the fact that you're combining it now with hoping that you turn into a hide and get some potions. But yeah, it's definitely, it feels like a feature, and it feels like you know, not just, oh, it's like, you know, what we don't like in our games is what we internally refer to as dribble, all right? And that is like lots and lots of really small wins of 10p here and 15p.
I'm completely with you there. I'm completely with you there. Like for me, that like the small, you know, like really small wins for me, they're not interesting.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a couple of dead spins, you know, a couple of, you know, near misses, and then, you know, when it hits, you know, something gets going and you get some excitement to build, you know, a better thrill of the spin, which is essentially the whole thing.
Exactly.
I have to say, I really liked when you mentioned that initially you had the idea to have more kind of potions in the game, like it was more focused around that, but that you changed along the way because you felt you needed to kind of, you know, adjust the thrill a bit to different things. I really like that.
Well, kind of, and it's not, you know, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't necessarily say that was a conscious decision. It's what happens is that, you know, it was this, when we had the game concept, we wanted it to make it all about the potions, but actually it came out of us. What we do, we obviously play our prototypes quite heavily, and we reform them, and we look to tweak them before the game even goes into production. And so, you know, we work with myself and a mathematician, we work very closely, like, you know, just iterating through some different, and it kind of popped out as a consequence of these early prototypes that we were like, oh, right, actually, do you know what? There's so much value in these hides, not just against the potions. You know, let's not sacrifice that by cutting all of the symbol pays in order to be able to boost the potions, because then the game is only about potions, and you know, that I think would not have made for a great game. So, you know, we play around with things like that, and you know, we try to get to what we feel is the best outcome.
Yeah, I think you did really well, all in all. Super good stuff. Last but not least, there's a couple of different ways to bet in the game. You got the anti-bet, and of course also the bonus buy. Could you tell us a little bit about the options we have in the bonus buy for the players that can't wait to get in?
Yeah, we've got 2 bonus buys in the game. One is the regular bonus, as if you would have hit 3 diamonds there, except rather than 12 spins, we give you 15 spins. And as we said earlier, you know, because of the cumulative nature of these bonuses, it gives you more time, gives you those 3 extra spins are actually really valuable if you've had a good start to the bonus and you've boosted those multipliers up. So yeah, we've got 2 bonus buys in the game. One is just a regular bonus, as if you were to have landed 3 diamonds on the reels, a normal scatter bonus, except rather than giving you 12 spins, we give you 15, and that is a cost of 125x the base bet. And the other one is a super bonus, which basically is the same as giving you a winning gamble. So your hides will start at times 10. But in that game, you get 20 free spins, right? So that is 350 times your bet to buy that one. But as we alluded to earlier, you know, the extra spins in this free spin are really very, very valuable. And in your normal buy bonus, even the 3 extra spins if you have a good start to that bonus, those last few spins, they can really pay off. And in the super free spins, when you started at 10 and at times 10x, and actually you're getting nearly twice as many spins. Those spins, once you get up past 15 spins, when you started on times 10 with a hide multiplier, I mean, that goes crazy. That has got a really high max win potential there.
Excellent stuff. So it's all about the spins. The more you have, the better it will be. So
exactly. That's the same with any cumulative one, right? Yes, as we said earlier, it's the extra spins are very, very valuable. And as it happens, as you may have noticed in the free spins there is the potential to get re-triggers here. So when you're buying bonus, and we didn't mention it there, but the anti-bet as well, it doubles your chance of winning the bonus.
Yeah.
Plus that gives you 15 free spins as well, and that costs you 50% extra on your stake. But those extra spins are very valuable. And when you re-trigger, if you're lucky enough to re-trigger off a normal free spin bonus, you'll re-trigger an extra 12. But here you will obviously re-trigger the amount that you got. So in super free spins, you re-trigger 20. In in normal buy bonus or anti-bet, you'll re-trigger 15. And yeah, by the time you get that re-trigger, your hide multiplier can be up in way over 20x, and it just goes crazy.
Astronomical wins. That's what we all what we're looking for, and that sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to.
It's going to be a good one for YouTube, that's for sure. Yeah.
Always the showbiz, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm really looking forward to seeing this game go live, how it will perform. I have I think it will do really, really well, for sure. So
thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's getting a lot of good early reviews at the moment. I know we've had a couple of slot of the week awards so far with this one. So from my point of view, I'm very happy with how it's come out. I think visually and animation wise, I think it's probably one of the most polished games we put out so far. The guys in the studio have done an incredible job on this one. So yeah, we're excited.
Super cool. I'll let those be the closing words. So do look out for this one, guys. Thank you for joining once again, Frank. It's always good to have you on the show.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
And I'll see you soon, right? And welcome back to the Roadshow. Chris Ash from For the Player coming back. Nice to have you, man.
Thank you, Alex. Always a pleasure.
Super duper. And today you got a very good looking game to show us. So I'm really looking forward to this presentation. So let's take it away.
So 7 gold gigablocks is our latest game, and it's building on the success of 90k Yeti. We've actually depowered the top Yeti symbol slightly, and we've put that into a ladder feature, which I'm going to show you. So it's a game that's packed with features. It's got a very accessible theme. It's going to be appealing to retail customers, online customers, young, old. So it's going to be really good for all sorts of player segments and markets. And it's got a lot of features. You get something happening on the game 1 in 27. So rather than just tell you about all the features, I'm just going to play the vid and show you them one by one. So we just do a few spins first to see what happens. You'll notice that we've got the lights blocks that block, which means that you can see more gigablocks on the reels. So it shows the potential for the player. And I'm just showing you now the shuffle. So that is picking up the gigablocks and picking up the blocks, and the reels and moving them around to create a big win. 16x, not a bad start. Okay. And now we've got, this is actually a shuffle combined with a reveal. So 2 features in one. So the reels were moved around, but then they were also the lights revealed the symbols to create an even larger win. And now, immediately. We've just demonstrated the ladder. So you've got 7 scatter symbols there that takes you up the ladder for a 15x. It was actually quite hard to pack all of the features of the game into a short enough presentation to show everyone, because there's so many. Here we go. We're now going to do, what's happening now? That is the Giga Summon. So you're guaranteed on the Giga Summon either a 4x4, 5x5, or a 6x6. So it's a huge symbol. There you go, 153x from the summon feature. And all these features can happen on the reels and in the free spins as well. In the free spins, you're actually guaranteed to get at least one shuffle and summon. Oh, and as if by magic, we're getting the free spins. So you get a free spin for every scatter. So that's a 5x5 Giga block. So we've got 25 free spins, which is quite handy. And they're just counting up. You get loads of re-triggers on this as well. You can really be playing the free spins for a long time. And all of the reveals are removed. So there are no blocking symbols in free spins. So it's a much more powerful reel set. And off we go. I'm not going to show you all the free spins because that would make for a very, very long demo, but all the features are in the free spins, apart from the reveal, which isn't necessary because everything's already revealed. So that can be pretty powerful. Oh, and now I think we might be about to see something quite big. Here's the massive Giga block, and that's what the players are looking for. There you go. That's the big 36 scatters, 70,000x. That's the top payout. Got quite a good balance now. And then last thing I'm going to show you, just the buys. There's 4 buy options, 5, 10, 20 free spins. You can also buy a Giga Summon spin, which guarantees you a big Giga block. Personally, this is my favourite way to play the game. So I dropped the main stake there to 10 pence. So this is to make a £15 buy. So you've got a huge range of bets that you can make, not just the big crazy ones. So we didn't get much there. Try that again. So I've bought another 15 there. And that's better. Okay, so we got a 4x4 block there. And you can see the potential in that particular buy option. That's my favorite way to play the game. And that is 7 gold Giga blocks coming on the 27th of October. Available in 96, 94 ITP. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that presentation. And what a nice looking game. It really, takes me to the kind of, nice flashy retail vibes I believe you mentioned as well. But touching on the theme here, let's start to talk about the theme, because I love it. Could you walk us through kind of the thought process with obviously the assets, the graphics, the music, and the features? How does it all come together?
Yeah, we just wanted to do something that's kind of like takes you to the happy place when you're playing, and also just the theme is very non-divisive. It doesn't really split opinions. It's very, very broad. So it'll, the retail iconography will appeal to people who are used to playing in the shops, and but it's still got that kind of high quality polish you expect from the top online developers. So it should have a very broad appeal.
Yeah, definitely. It looks super nice, and I think the music is also very engaging. It has this kind of, it just adds the thrill of the spin, right? You have the bells ringing in this kind of I don't know what you call it, but
yeah,
I would say land-based kind of feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Celebrating a nice win. But there's a lot of features in this game, and I think they're all really, really interesting, and it all comes together absolutely beautifully in the bonus round with not only the enhanced wheel set, but also the enhanced feature, right? But like, could you walk us through like a little bit if talking about volatility in the game? You show the max win, but in the like in the base game, like can we get the juicy nice win in the base game as well?
Yeah, it can throw and surprise you some very good wins. That's a typical feature of a lot of our games, actually. They're, with the reveals and the shuffles and the giga summons and the ladder, something is happening. Every sort of 1 in 27 on average. So that's good if anyone taking the slightly lower RTP version. And it just means it's quite active, but the range of payouts in all those features is broad as well. So you can get, very large wins in both the free spins and the base game from any of those features. It does play really nicely, actually.
Yeah. I completely agree. And like touching a bit on the player demographic, like obviously this, as we mentioned, the theme is a bit inspired by the land-based. We also have the Giga blocks here, so we're touching on a couple of different player demographics. But what's your take on that? Who would like this game, do you think?
Yeah, I think we tried to make something that's as broad as possible, really. Hopefully the sort of Northern Europeans will look at it and recognize the high quality production, but also the sort of retail guys from the UK and the Dutch markets will also recognize the symbols and like that too. Yeah,
no, definitely. It all comes together nicely here, crossing the border, so to say. Super nice. But it is a Giga blocks game, and there's quite a few of those out there. So in what way would you say 7 Gold differs from the other Giga blocks games?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. So like with the Yeti, what we noticed with Giga blocks is because the blocks are so powerful, you don't often see them spinning on the reels, and that's why we created the blocking block, so that you can actually see more potential on the reels. And it's manifested in the Yeti as the frost, which gets defrosted, but in this game it's the lights which reveal what the symbol that are behind them. And that is, I think, allows the player on a spin by spin basis to see potentially they're going to get much bigger wins, because they can see those Giga blocks if they land in the right places and they do reveal. That's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens. Super cool. You mentioned it as well in your presentation, but obviously we see the big potential in the bonus round. And for the the players that can't wait to get in there and where it's alive, there we have the bonus buy option. Could you walk us through a bit what options these players have in here?
Yeah, we've increasingly tried to offer like a variety of buys, and also allow the buys to be played at lower staking values as well. So it's not just about the Rothstein massive, big bashing, because ultimately then it gives the player lots of variety in different types of ways of playing the game. And I mentioned the Giga Summon, which I particularly like, because it's just buying a Giga block. But I'm not playing that at on a huge stake, but it's just a different way to see the features. And it depends on your risk profile, doesn't it? If you want to buy 5 free spins, you can. You want to buy 10, 20, you can. It's just a nice way of allowing the player to explore.
Yeah, definitely. I think the risk profile, I think that's a good way of putting it. I'm thinking now, what's my risk profile? Well, I would probably go for the Giga Summon. I'll tell you that. It's like,
that's the instant gratification. Yeah.
Boom. Let's see what happens. I want the big juicy block coming down, and I want.
You want to see that 6x6.
I want to see that 6x6 getting the max win, as you showed in the video. That looked really nice. I'd be very happy to get that on a Friday spins night. That would be super nice.
Definitely.
But anyhow, I'll let that be the closing words for today. And thank you so much, Chris Ash, for joining us once again here on the Roadshow. Always a pleasure to have you.
No, thank you, Alex. It's been great. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Super duper. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.